Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night. It is time for the baddest show on the airwaves, period. For all those in attendance, welcome back to the Bama Standard. You know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, live chat, do your thing, show us some love there. If you're watching the replay, give us a comment. Let us know what you think. As always, we're brought to you by Workspace Solutions. If your business needs a full-fledged marketing team, these are the guys that you need running your business, coaching you guys up, taking you to the next level. Visit them today at workspacepros.com. I'm your host, Justin Riley, and we're changing things up a little bit today. We're letting the master MC introduce the rest of the panel. And we got quite a crew tonight. You know how we do here at the Bama Standard. Stephen M. Smith, go ahead. Do your thing, sir.
Well, all right, we're going to start off with the legendary linebacker, somebody that will knock everybody out the moment he sees them. He's on his rival high school's wall of fame. Still doesn't understand why at times they put him on there, but he was just that dude. The pride of Central High School, 1999 All-SEC linebacker and SEC champion. He was tearing up Sean Alexander at practice, still holding it in the road at 44 years of age. Marvin, knock your block off, Constant.
Hey, well, thank you, sir.
And now we go over to the brother opposite or across from Marvin. We got a man that just recently retired from the game of football, but this is a two-time college football national champion. This is a two-time USFL champion. This is the face of the USFL. This is a former five-star from Northridge High School. This is one of the best guys to ever tote the football in the Nick Saban era. He also played in the NFL. He got a street named after him, y'all. We got Bo Scarbrough in here.
What's up? What's up, Steve?
I just got one question, though. Why did you have to say in the Nick Saban era? You thought Derrick was going to have something to say about it?
And the guy above Bo, one of the originators of that running back position, 1992 national champion. One of the reasons why Jake Barker had a job as a quarterback, one of the reasons why this Alabama team was getting to the end zone in that 92 offense, coached by Gene Stallings, one of the reasons why Gino Toretta is still wondering, how do I not have a national championship? Because this guy took it from him, still at 54 years of age, got guns blazing here. We got Derrick Lassic in the building.
Yeah.
Thank you, fellas. That's a hell of an introduction.
Why you had to put his age on blast, Steve?
I mean, hey, he's still doing it, though. He's still doing it, though.
I don't hide from it.
he still could play a couple of downs, can't you, Derrick?
Shit.
That was deep.
Well,
right
it's
there.
hard for me to get up and down the stairs nowadays. I just look decent.
I tell people all the time, I just work out so my clothes still fit.
No, I work out because my wife likes it.
Oh, okay. The CEO is all about that performance. All right, cool.
Yes, sir.
We got to impress her, no doubt. Hey, you're doing your thing, man. We're glad to have you back. It's been way too long. Before we kind of get rolling, what you been up to, brother? Keep the fans updated on you.
Man, I'm enjoying retired life. I had surgery in December, so I haven't been able to go to the gym the past couple of months, which has been a bit
depressing
for me because, I when I don't go to the gym, I feel bad. My body starts to fall apart. But other than that, just spending quality time with my 8-year-old. He's getting into basketball. I want him to run track because he's so fast. But, he doesn't like being out in that heat. He one of them, these kids nowadays, they're not used to being in the heat. They used to being inside and air conditioning. You couldn't keep us in the house when we were coming up.
And we outside them street lights. Come on,
drinking out the hose pipe.
I got a question for you, Derrick. What did they say is the recovery on that? Because I know I got to get mine done, and I just been putting it off.
Hey, look, they're gonna lie to you. They're gonna tell you a month or so, but it's about a 4 or 5 month recovery. Before you get the surgery, it's a month or so, but after the surgery, it really takes about 4 or 5 months. So I was like, Doc, you should have told me at the beginning.
Man, I'm not looking forward to this. Oh God!
But you're 10 years younger than me, so your healing process may be a little faster.
I had knee replacement surgery 2 years ago, sir. My body's beat the crap.
Yeah, but you still the clock, the age-wise and recovery. 10 years makes a big difference.
Every morning I wake up, I feel like I'm 90.
Well, you look 90.
Feel like the Tin Man getting out the bed. No, for real. When I wake up every morning, I have to stretch because everything is so tight. Like it's just like it feels like I'm like rubber bands everywhere.
Yeah, that's what the physical therapist was saying about me. He said you're so tight, but I've never liked to stretch, so I've never been one that was flexible. But I know the importance of flexibility and stuff like. I just like getting in the gym like a dog running after a car for Porsche. I just get in there and get it. I don't warm up and start to work out.
Well, it might be time to start stretching.
Yeah, that's what my trainer said. He said, man, you need to stretch and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm stretching while we're working out.
Well, folks, this segment here brought to you by Shady Pines Assisted Living Facility.
God.
Okay. No, we got a great show tonight, and we're going to start things out with the man, Stephen M. Smith. But before we start with him, I'll remind everybody the season never truly ends. Folks, you need to go ahead and get yourself a title towel. Visit those folks at whitwellsports.com today. Hey, A-Day is going to be here in a few weeks, and what better way to represent and get into the season feeling than going to grab a title towel. And there's a good reason you should, too. If you enter in promo code STANDARD, you're going to get a nice little discount. So go visit those folks today. Tell them that we sent you. Well, now we got to turn it over to Stephen M. Smith. Spring practice has started. We've completed week 1. Things are changing. Matter of fact, practice is turning into Club Tuscaloosa. Stephen M. Smith was out there doing the crip walk, drinking a bottle of Ciroc, just turning up. He's going to talk to us about it right now.
Hey, Justin, you something serious, man. But before we get into spring practice, though, first big news: Bama did get a commitment for 2025. 4-star athlete Derrick Smith from Southside High School in Selma, very familiar with that area, was able to get his commitment, taking that away from Auburn because Hugh Freeze and Auburn were high right there. For Kalen DeBoer to go in there and get that guy, you're already starting to see he's showing his recruiting prowess right there. So that was big there for Crimson Tide football. But getting into spring practice, which week 1 was last week, they let the media in for the first viewing period on Wednesday. And when I tell you I walked in there was music playing in there. It's different. I mean, 17 years with Nick Saban, it was coaches yelling, just a natural sound out there. You walk out there, you're hearing all types of music playing from start to finish. You're like, whoa, this is a serious change of the guard here. And not just that, but you're getting the chance to talk with assistant coaches too. And a lot of assistant coaches shared some good stuff. We got position battles everywhere. First and foremost, we got one at center right now. Seth McLaughlin gone. Thank goodness he's at Ohio State. The position battle with center, you got Parker Brassford, the transfer from Washington, against James Brockermeyer. We all remember James and his brother Tommy. They both came to Alabama from Texas in 2021. James went back home. Tommy went back home to Texas. James stayed. So James and Parker battling it out there for center. At both offensive tackle spots, you're looking at Miles McVay, Wilkin Formby, Elijah Pritchett. They're all kind of battling there. So got some competition there on the offensive line. That defensive secondary is going to be pretty fun, though, because you got 5 freshmen that right now starting to look nice there. And I remember Marvin has talked about it when he was out there. You know, that team was freshmen and sophomores. They were just killing everybody. So you look at this secondary, you got 5 freshmen. They all got different body types. They're all in the weight room. They're not putting a lot on them right now because they're trying to give them small responsibilities and see where can they grow to from there. So that'll be interesting. You got Deontae Lawson wearing number 0 now as a linebacker. We going to see what does that do. Jahad Campbell changed his number from 30 to 11. But you got some outside linebackers that are going to be used more. We can look at Quay Russaw, You got Quay Russo, Keon Keeley, Yancey Pierre. They're going to be used a lot more. I'm intrigued to see what this Kane Womack swarm defense is going to be and become.
That's what I was just about to ask you. What does the defense look like in the initial stages of spring practice?
So defensively, the initial stages right now. So you're going to have Keon Keeley as that primary rush backer, DN hybrid bandit wolf type player. So he's going to be the first one they're putting there. Now, Kane Womack wants to have him in that spot, Yancey Pierre in that spot, and then Quandarius Robinson on the opposite side. That's kind of how he wants to have it. So in the Nick Saban era, the nickel back was called the star. Mm-hmm. Under Kane Womack, that's now called the Husky. So in that Husky pack, in that Husky bag, Tony Mitchell has been playing that so far in practice. So they're going to have Tony. They're going to have Tony at the Husky. Go ahead, Marvin.
Who's playing middle linebacker? That's the most important piece to this whole deal. That's
D-Law. That's Deontae Lawson. That's D-Law.
Okay, who's the second one?
Jahad Campbell.
Okay.
So it's Lawson and Campbell with Justin Jefferson in there as well.
Okay.
So he's in there as well. So you got Lawson, Campbell, Jefferson, and also Jeremiah Alexander can play it as well. So that's those four there. So going back to Tony Mitchell, he would be the Husky defensive back, which that pushes Malachi Moore to strong safety. That's where he is. Malachi's at strong. That puts Keon Sabb, the transfer from Michigan, at 3. And then Devontae Smith, he would be the backup at 3, or he and Keon Sabb will kind of battle that out for 3. So the secondary, it's a lot of moving parts here. They're working some things out, especially with these young guys, because these young guys, they're going to have a shot. Jalen Mbakwe's got crazy athleticism. Xavier Brown's extremely good. Then you got Xavier Mincy, that's 6'2", 6'3". So they're trying to not put a lot on these young guys, but they know whichever one of these young guys makes it out of spring with a lot of that upside, they're going to contend for a corner spot.
When is the first scrimmage?
The first scrimmage will be next Saturday.
This Saturday coming up or the following Saturday?
The following Saturday.
Okay. What is
that? The first scrimmage.
What is that? The 22nd?
Yeah.
23rd? Okay.
Yeah. That's the first scrimmage right there.
Awesome. We got a comment about Keon Sabb. Steven, kind of go into the depth about him. Everything I'm hearing is he understands the assignment. The transition from Michigan to Alabama is kind of flawless right now for him. He's making himself at home, and it looks like that he's going to be that next great dude out there wearing number 3, going to be reminding folks of Terrion Arnold, perhaps even better. We don't know how high ceiling can go. But not only that, you talked about the young guys. The young guys seem like they are not feeling any sense of nervousness or anxiety. They're coming in ready right now. Their mindset's where it should be. Yeah, I get it. It's just week 1 of spring practice. We probably shouldn't get too overboard, but you got to like their mentality coming in. You mentioned Red Morgan last week. You mentioned Peyton Woodyard. These guys could be ready to go right away. Let's kind of touch on what they're doing and what kind of impact they can mean to this team early on.
Well, right now, Keon Sabb, his transition's been extremely smooth. Of course, Coach Colin Hitzler, who's working with the safeties as a co-DC, he has a safeties background in the coaching ranks coming over from Wisconsin. He talked about it. Keon Sabb and Malachi Moore are playing off each other beautifully. And what's interesting, Coach Maurice Linguist, Coach Mo, actually had Keon Sabb with him. He recruited him to Michigan. Coach Mo Linguist, he had Damani Jackson recruiting him at USC before he left to take the Buffalo job. And then Coach Mo also was recruiting Keon Sabb too. So to be back at Alabama, to have both of his guys that he recruited to other programs now at Alabama with him, Coach Mo is off the moon right now working with both of those two. So Keon's coming here. That transition has been incredibly smooth, working back with Coach Mo, getting with Coach Hitzler, and then he and Malachi, they're like this right now, pairing off each other at safety. So,
but is it personal to them? Because I always tell you, if it's not personal, you're never going to get the most out of them.
I'm gonna say this: it's real personal with Malachi because
I'm not worried about him.
So it's personal with Sam too.
Okay,
like it is very personal with Sam too because Sam wants to prove he can play in the SEC. That was the main reason why he came down here. He wants to prove I can play in this conference. So it's personal. It's personal with all of these guys in the secondary. Because with Mbakwe, he's an in-state kid. He takes it real personal. It's personal with him. It's personal with Damani Jackson because people are calling Damani Jackson trash coming over from USC, but that was not his fault. He had Pete Golding's clone coaching him, and that was Alex Grinch. So here comes Damani Jackson, the Bama getting real deal coaching. So this secondary, all those kids are taking it personal. Every last one of them. It's just now of the young guys because they know they have a real shot at one of these two corner spots, if not both. Which one of these two can master the small stuff first to where they can grow and possibly snatch a spot?
And the secondary is one of the bright spots we're getting right now where we're hearing the most energy coming from. And we go back a month ago, and it was a position of panic because everybody was leaving. We had no idea what was going to happen, but now it seems like everything is falling into place. And you mentioned, is it personal? These guys, it is. Like you said, they're fighting for their life. Everybody has a shot. They're back at square one. Not only that, we had the people who needed out to be out. The distractions are gone. So you had the guys who bleed Alabama there, bleeding Alabama. And Stephen, you mentioned offensive line. That's something we've been worried about since last year. We've been worrying about the snaps. Chris Katlovic is an alpha all the way. Marvin, you talk all the time about taking on the personality of your coach. If you're not going to drive guys to the ground, he's going to drive them to the ground for you. He's going to be in your face. He's been challenging the upperclassmen right now. He wants it back to the standard that we're all accustomed to. You mentioned some of the position battles, man. It is no joke right now. Wickham Formby and Miles McVay going head-to-head. Brockemeyer going at it. Brailsford going at it. Of course, the alphas, we all know who they are, Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts. This is a group that's going to be greatly improved. Now, I honestly believe this is going to be the number one line in the nation. But we need to find depth. 8 out of the 13 offensive linemen are either freshmen or true freshmen. But here, like I said a few minutes ago, we were all worried about the snaps. Well, Coach Cap is working with 8 to 10 linemen right now on how to snap effectively this spring. So we're going to have somebody who knows how to snap that ball.
I will say this. The whole coaching staff has said this all spring. There is nothing like competition, and we need it all over the field. And to have that back where it's competition at every position, that's what's going to make you better. And that's one of the main things that's been lacking these last few years, under Coach Saban, as we ask ourselves, was the right player really playing that position?
Did you just say something was lacking under Coach Saban?
What? Yeah.
I'm gonna get you, Steve. It's blasphemy.
How dare you question the GOAT, Stephen M. Smith?
I'm just saying, we ask ourselves, was the right player playing this spot? And now with this staff, we're getting back to real deal comp. Like, if you ain't the right guy, we're going to put you on that bench. Show us what you is for real. And it's not just Coach KD. It's everybody on this coaching staff saying this. Like, I'm in front of Coach Cap Wednesday of last week, and he's like, yo, like, we're competing around the board. We're competing at center. We're competing at left tackle. We're competing at right tackle. Like, the only person right now, that's the only two people right now that seem like they got their spots on deck here would be Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts. But aside from those two, it's competition across at every other spot. So you got to fight for yours. You got to earn your keep. And this coaching staff is about earning your keep. And even go back to the secondary, I missed a guy, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. Keep your eye on Dre Jr. He out there battling as well.
Hey, offensive line, look out for Elijah Pritchett. He's been coming on pretty strong too. He's been doing his thing.
He has been.
Derrick, let's hear from you, man. I don't want to hear from Bo. You're hearing all these things, man. What's going through your mind? Y'all know about competition. You know what the standard is. Hell, y'all played to it. Let's hear from you, Derrick. Start us out, and then Bo, let's weigh in.
Well, competition is great. It makes you better, and you're going to get the cream of the crop. Like they say, the cream always rises to the top. I love competition. It made you better. It made you focus more. And then it's all in fun. I mean, you become closer. And we're going to see who really wants to be at Alabama after the spring where they can transfer out again. So I'm interested in really seeing the battles and who really wants to wear that crimson and white and who sticks in there and, is developed by the coaches. I like Coach DeBoer's approach. He was a coach I'd like to play for more so than Nick Saban. I like somebody who's going to be fun, have a lot of fun. But he was serious in front of everybody, but all his players said he was fun behind the scene. So I don't know that about Coach Saban. I just see him as being a serious coach. DeBoer seems like he's a little more inviting. What happened to the two?
Hold on, Derrick. Hold on. Who's going to be the number one running back and why?
Ooh, Bo, you got into that too.
Yeah, I'm Justin Haynes. I think because he can. What's the other guy's name?
Jam
Miller.
Jam Miller, I think, is more explosive. He's faster, but I just think Justice Haynes is shiftier and he can do a little more with the ball in his hand than Miller can. So I'm putting Justin Haynes one. I mean, when he played in the playoffs, they couldn't stop him. I don't know why they took him out of the game.
Tommy Reese.
That's why Tommy's in Cleveland now. That's why Tommy's in Cleveland.
Yeah, but who puts the running backs in? I mean, when I played shit, I mean,
what?
If Sherman was coming in too early or Chris Anderson was coming in too early, I'm waving them back off. No, I ain't coming off yet. I ain't trying, let me get a couple more runs. So I don't know. Him being a freshman, maybe he didn't have that power or authority, but I just really felt like he should have touched the ball more.
Listen, man, in that game against Michigan, Haynes showed, listen, man, that opening drive out of halftime, he showed that he should have been getting the ball a lot more throughout the season, not just that one drive. And the fact that we went away from that as we went late into the third and fourth quarter when Michigan's defense was gassed, we had them on the ropes. And the fact that their offense was doing absolutely nothing against us, that was even more of a reason to run the ball with him, to bleed that clock out and run that defense in the ground even more, because their offense couldn't do anything. But it didn't help with those bad snaps killing our drives either. So,
well, during the season, I thought he was battling an injury with the elbow or something like that. That's what I heard from somebody.
Back when we played, you better throw some tape on it and take you a couple salt tablets and go on out there.
Well, hey. But what happened to the two kids that we got from Carver?
They're still there, and they've been balling.
Now, Rusal, the linebacker, he's in that rush package. I'm telling you that Womack's developing right now. So Rusal's in that. James Smith is going to be pushing. James Smith's going to be pushing either Otis or Tim Keenan, one of those two, as one of the interior defensive linemen.
Okay, yeah.
So the two Carver kids are still there. They ain't going nowhere. Okay, they still there.
Steve, didn't you say last week James Smith was him? Isn't that how you put it?
Yeah, he is him. That boy big. That's a big dude. Like, I'm standing next. That's a big dude.
Yeah, some of them big dudes look like Tarzan and play like James.
Prime example was the picture they showed of our offensive line last year, looking like buffet killers. But yet we go out against Texas and we can't block a soul to save our life.
Hey, but listen, you see that center for Texas, the nose guard for Texas, what he ran at the combine. Yeah. Now, shoot, that boy was a problem. That's probably why our center hadn't been the same ever since. That boy was putting it on him.
Now, Marvin, I know you'll be happy to hear this. So the new O-line coach, he was asked the question, is size still a thing for offensive linemen? Do you still want your guys big? And Coach Cap said, look, we want them to move. It don't matter how big they are. We just want these guys to move because we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff in this offense. They got to move. So there's the answer to that question there, Marvin.
Yeah, because it's hard. You think about it when you're talking traps and other plays like that where these guys actually have to pull. How you going to pull if you 350 pounds and you sucking wind after one step?
Yeah, it's serious right now.
We weren't a good screen team. With the backs that we had, I thought we should have ran more screens. That would have taken a lot of pressure off the offensive line. and Jalen and the quarterback.
Milroe, yeah.
Jim Milroe.
Yeah.
But Derek, Steve and Justin and Bo. How many times did I say that last season? Why are we not running screens to get those defensive linemen to slow down?
Well, Marvin, you said it the last 3 years.
That's 3 years. It was the last 3 years. Booth O'Brien and then Tommy Reese, and it's not good.
Can we please get that Booth O'Brien copyrighted? We will. We gotta get that Booth O'Brien copyrighted. But getting back to the running back 1 and 2, like Derek mentioned, I think it's gonna be a 1-2 punch of Justice and Jam. It's gonna be a 1-2 punch of those two. They'll sprinkle Richard Young in there as well. Richard Young will get opportunities also, and then there's a young freshman that's already picked up the pass blocking stuff for the playbook. He's from Justin's neck of the woods, Daniel Hill from Meridian, Mississippi. That kid's got something. So
that's a big boy too. He about both sides, ain't he?
He is.
Can he move like you, Bo?
Sides. Now
we'll see.
Does he got that sauce, Bo?
We gonna see.
Oh, new knees or past knees?
Oh, whoa, Bo.
Marvin, he can't say that though.
Hey, I got a bionic knee, so I'm just saying.
And for that comment, we're gonna have Bo and Marvin run the 40 at A-Day, so everybody be on hand for that. $5 per person.
But their 40 will come behind. Their 40 will come behind me and Steve Brown, Stacey Adams 40.
What's that, Bo?
I would definitely win that against.
Yeah, I got my money on Bo.
Man, I got this new knee. Y'all tripping, man. I got the wheels back, baby.
You just said you a rubber band when you wake up.
But by the time we run the 40, I'd have been up for about 6 hours. By then, I'd been stretched out. I'd be good. You know, I can
early morning, Justin. Early morning.
Early morning. Did you get the extended warranty, Martin?
Hey, what we got terrible? What we have those? You said Tide towels or something?
Title towels.
Title towel. Are they like the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, they are. They're crimson. Title towels written on them, man.
I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, go to Whitwell Sports and order yours, man. They are dope. You got to have them if you're going to be there for game day. Yeah, definitely check them out. Hey, promo code Standard. You've heard of those guys, right? Bo, we hadn't heard from you, man. Things are getting serious in the spring. Matter of fact, T.I.'s I'm Serious been playing at practice. What you think about that? You more excited about the music being back? You more excited about the competition? We heard about the running backs, man. What you got?
I mean, it's a new era, but you got to go with fit the guys. So you got to go with make the guys happy, and that's how a great team come together when you got guys that want to go to practice and want to play the game. Look at Marvin.
Dr. Justin put this stupid extended warranty comment up.
Hey, but here's the new thing, guys. In talking to Coach Womack last week, he mentioned, hey, I want to be on the field coaching and have the interaction with these players. So we're going to have a defensive coordinator not in the booth this season.
How many times did I tell y'all, especially in terms of defense, that these kids play to the personality of their coach? And it's important to have him on the field and so that they can feel his energy and he can feel their energy. Defense is not like offense. Offense, yeah, I can call whatever I want to call based upon what you're running. But defense, you better make sure that they're feeding off your personality and that they're high energy. And again, the best way to get that is on the field.
And Coach Womack will be on that field this season.
Derek, I want to kind of go back to your spring. You're a guy who understands transition. You went from Bill Curry to Gene Stallings. What was the transition process like for you guys? As a matter of fact, what was the buy-in process when the new coaching regime came in?
Well, Coach Curry was probably, I think, more like Coach Saban, real strict. He didn't allow us to wear earrings. And when we traveled, we had to wear coat and ties and things of that nature. And Coach Stallings came in there. He treated us like men. You can wear earrings. You didn't have restriction. He said, go out there and have fun. When we scored in the end zone, hey, have fun. Act like you've been there before. Don't act like a fool, but you can celebrate some. With Coach Curry, we couldn't do that. So it was a relief for us. So we bought in early because he said, hey, listen, this team has a lot of potential to do some good things. And his first year, we we had a pretty good season. And that second year, we really started excelling. And then year 3, of course, we won the national championship.
You're talking about Jam Miller. You're talking about Justice Haynes earlier. Remind us about that dynamic backfield you guys have. How do they compare to what you guys? Is it kind of the same level? Do you feel like it's better? Where do you see these guys as far as their trajectory compared to what you guys had?
Well, I think they had the potential to be better than we were. It was me, Chris Anderson, and Sherman, and we pushed each other. We had different styles. Chris Anderson was a speedster. He was more of a tall sweep guy. Sherman was more of a guy that would do a lot of shaking and shifting, and I was a slasher. So our styles complement one another. And, you know, we pushed each other, and we had fun, and the bottom line, we got along with one another. You know, it's one thing to have competition and not get along with a person, but then to have competition, get along with somebody, it just makes you like a family. You know what I'm saying? So, we really pushed each other, and it was positive vibes off the field.
Well, and one thing that a lot of people don't understand, you know, running back is one of those positions where having multiple great backs benefits everybody. So can you speak to what it's like when you have a solid 1, 2, or 3 punch and how that keeps you all fresh throughout that game and it makes you all better, opposed to just having that one back who has to carry the whole load?
Most definitely, especially in the SEC. You know, it's a tough conference. There's a lot of wear and tear on your body. So mid-season, you know, you're a lot fresher if you're 2 or 3 deep than if you have to run the ball majority of the time. So it helps you at the tail end of the season. And that's what Coach Stallings preached. He said, hey, listen, let's stay fresh. Let's get better each week. And at the end of the year, you know, he's going to let the 1s and 2s go have it. And, you know, the 3s didn't get as much repetition, but they still got some. So we were fresh towards the end of the year by having 3 and 4 deep.
Bo, can you piggyback off of that?
Yeah, that was exactly how we were with me, Damian, Josh, and Najee. You know, tail end of the season, the 1 and 2 always, you know, gets it. But we had a different stable of backs on our team. You know, I was that bruiser. Damian and Josh was the type of guys that, you know, can make you miss and, you know, put a shoulder down on you. But we had a similar backfield as Derrick did, and, you know, we were great at it. And like you said, you got to have fun with it. And we had fun, you know, going out there seeing each other do good, especially at running back, because Derrick know that no one on the team cares about the running back that much. So, you know, that's why we always say that we all we got, you know, and and we just had fun with it.
It was a little different when I played with I think we may have thrown 7 passes in the national championship game, Bo. So I remember being at the game down in where was it, Tampa? Well, and you were more shiftier than I thought to be such a big back, and you were wearing into the boy. Clemson was so happy when you went down. They want none of you. You could see in their body language. I was like, look at him. I was telling Charles Gardner, who's with me, I said, look at him. Them boys don't want none of that. He killing them. And
yeah, I was eating them up, boy.
He was giving them the business that night.
Those were those young knees, baby.
Man, that's all you want to talk about is knees. You want my knees to be like yours so bad.
He does, doesn't he?
Y'all introduce him. Y'all need to introduce him with that theme song, Young Knees, you know that knees fella.
Hey, no, Derrick, you got to understand, they gave me so much crap after I had knee replacement surgery. So, yes, I'm still talking about everybody else's knees.
Yeah, because you're the only 44-year-old that had a knee replacement surgery.
I was actually 42 at the time.
So I don't know. You know, I used to work for a company. It's called Stryker Orthopedic, replacing knees and hips. And, you know, usually unless you're just in terrible shape, they make you wait till you're 55 because the knees are only going to last 15 years.
Look, I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I went.
We got to get another one.
Look, hold on. Listen, Dr. Kane said I'll be fine. He gave me a list of things not to do. But look, so I went in, right? And the guy, he's doing my MRI prior to my knee replacement. And he's like, you're awful young to be getting this. They approved this. Why did they? He's asking 10,000 questions. He finishes my MRI and he's reading. He looks at me and say, how are you even walking? I was like, you changed your tune real quick, huh? Oh, that thing was bad, man. My bone was almost the size of a volleyball. That's how big it had gotten from the arthritis and the bone spurs. and it was compressing my nerves, so I couldn't take more than 10 to 12 steps without falling. Oh, it was bad.
Hey, he may live to get another one, Bo, if Pete Golden don't put a hit out on him.
Pete better worry about Ole Miss.
Hey, he close enough to put a hit out on you now. You know they got Mississippi Mafia out there.
But you got to realize something. That schedule for they have this year is pretty brutal. So he better be focusing on the field.
Yeah, but they don't have us. They always do good in the portal. So they've done pretty well in the portal. Ohio State has done real well in the portal. But I just think they got to beat Michigan. That's their problem. And USC and them all are coming out there now.
Oregon?
So there's no more playing 1-2 games in their schedule. They play Michigan or Penn State, and then that was it. They had
but you think about it though. When you look at the Big Ten, though, there was always one side and two sides, but there was only one side. Exactly. It was always Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. You never heard from the other division ever.
Yeah. They put all three of the best teams in the same division, which didn't make sense.
No. I got one more question, Derek, before we transition to our next segment involving our guy, Bo. You told a story a while back. I think the last time you were actually here, which was, maybe a year or so ago. You had a run-in with Derek Thomas when you were young at Alabama. Can you enlighten the fans who are here in the chat as to that encounter with DT, arguably the best linebacker to ever play football, period?
On the practice field, it just so happened that he came up in a drill and I was up in a drill and I had to try to block him. So I guess they were going to see how I could block as a freshman. So I'm looking at him. I was like, man, that's a pretty big guy. You know how you are when you come in. These guys are huge. So I was like, damn, I got to, fire into him because he's going to try to run me over. Man, he did a poop, poop, poop. I was like, holy cow. He was fast quick as I was. Where'd he go? And I kind of landed on my face. And like, get out of there, rookie. Get out of there, freshman. So I said, damn, I gotta make up for that. So the next time I got up, and I was with another linebacker, but I said, can I get number 55? I don't know why I did that, So now I'm bracing. I said, yeah, he quick, so he gonna try to, shake me. He ran slap over me. I guess he said to himself, don't ever ask for me again. And then I never asked for him again. Hey, listen, I slowed him down, though.
You did. Small victories, right, Derek?
What they say, get ran over slowly.
Yeah. Listen, he was your size, but just as fast and quick as, a running back.
Why didn't you take the easy way out like y'all normally do and try to cut him? That's what y'all good for.
There was no cutting. I would have done that now. We couldn't cut the linebackers in practice. You cut in practice, this is going to be a fight.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't want to play DT.
It's going to be a fight. You cut one of them in practice.
Yeah. So we had to stay up. You know how coach stay off their knees.
Stay off Sean.
You ain't worried about me cutting you.
Hey, Marvin, stay off of Sean.
That was Dubos all day. He stayed trying to protect Sean. Man, please. He needed to get hit sometimes.
Sounds bitter. But anyway, folks, I remind everybody on April 12th, the night before the A-Day game, live at the Paul W. Bryant Museum, the Bama Standard will be there in front of everybody. Get there early, pack the place out. We're going to be talking about A-Day, getting you ready. We're going to have some very special guests, a very big guest we're going to reveal to you the week before the A-Day game. Y'all want to be here to find out who that is. Bo, now it's your time, brother. We're going to turn it over to you, or we're going to talk about you. Man, congratulations on a career that's been absolutely stunning, brother. I'm so proud of all that you've done. You've been the very epitome of what a leader should be. What you did on the field changed lives for Alabama fans, and what you did off the field as far as mentoring people, no one can replicate. And I have to give you props and definitely a round of applause for all that you did, brother. Man, how's retirement feeling, man?
I mean, it's only been a few days, but it's a little bittersweet, as I can say. In your mind, you got that you can go out there and still do it, but your body like, nah, brother, I can't do that no more. But it's a tough situation that you got to walk away from, and we all got to do that someday. That's why I always preach to the young guys that football is not a career, it's just an activity. Because if it was a career, it can be something that you can do for the rest of your life. So yeah, we call it a career at time, but in the reality of it, it's only an activity, and that's why you want to get your degree while you can get it for free, and have that piece of paper because it can take you a long way. And I'm just blessed to be able to play that game, and blessed to be able to get my piece of paper that I can carry with me for the next journey of my life. And just want to thank the people that's played a role in it, my fiance and my mom and friends and family. And it's just been a great journey, and it'll be something great to look back on when my kids get older, something that they can see what their father have done in the past. And it's just been a great experience to play on this game. And great to be part of that 1% that make it out of high school. And it just was a blessing, man. He had gifted me with so much, and I believe that I carried it out the right way. The gift that he had given me, that's another thing that I always preach to guys, that follow your gift that God had given you. Don't try to do something because someone else is doing it. But at the end of the day, we all have a gift, and I believe that someday that we're gonna find out what that gift is. And we just gotta cherish every moment while we still on the earth, while we able to. And and it's like I said, the game of football, it's been nothing but great to me. It taught me a lot mentally, physically, and emotionally. And now I know how to handle things when they come my way. I know how to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So it's just a growing thing. And I just pray to God that I keep growing in the aspect.
Well, if I could give you any advice, man, when those lights turn out, Bo, it's not the easiest thing in the world to deal with. It definitely takes a toll on your mental, because when you've been in the spotlight your entire life and those lights go out and you're no longer on that platform, it's like you almost like losing your sense of identity. So the best advice I could give you, brother, is find a hobby or something that that you like, that can occupy your time, that you could potentially turn into a career at some point. That'll help you out a lot, because again, if you're just left at home to sit and at your own vices, all you're gonna do is think about what coulda, shoulda, and woulda happened.
Right.
So just find a hobby, man. Something to occupy your time. I promise you, man. That's the best advice I can give you.
You're right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
I'm gonna chime in. At least you retired on your terms. It wasn't like you kept trying to play and they didn't want you, so you don't have that rejection. You retired because, hey, you realized, hey, it's time for me to move on and do something else. Football doesn't define you. You seem
Right.
like a very bright and intelligent kid, and there's a lot of other things you can achieve in life. Like Nick Saban is moving on to broadcasting. You can move on. You're doing the shows here, and I know you have your
Clothing line.
clothing line. So hey, work on that, and always remember the people that you cross paths with during your journey, and
Right.
Tap into those people and use them as a resource. If anything I can do for you, just reach out to me. I'll do whatever I can.
For sure.
Real quick, we got a super chat to get to before we get to the next segment. Let me pull him back up. Don Parker, one of our top fans here. $5. Congratulations, Bo. Enjoy yourself. It's a celebration. Well, I just mentioned top fan. Every week, it's the off season. We celebrate Alabama all year long, but it's time to celebrate the fans, the ones that make us what we are, the ones that make guys like Derrick and Marvin and Bo lace them up and go head to head with some giants every Saturday. Well, I got somebody who's probably one of our biggest fans, both in the chat and also has contributed when it comes to super chats. She's probably one of the most entertaining people I've ever met. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Kelly Weathersby. What is going on?
Hey, Kelly. Hold on. Time out. Before we get started, Kelly, is your internet going to be sufficient this time?
Lord, I hope so.
All right, because last time that thing was, it was more spotted than Steven Vision. Come on. All right. Let's
Why you gotta do me like that, man? Like, why you gotta do
That's just wrong. That's just wrong in so many ways.
No,
My bad.
Marvin.
My bad.
And here I am
Kill-
all these times just I can't even.
Kelly, you got
I'm
to
on your side, Marvin, and this is how you do me. I see how this is. You just wait. 8 days coming, buddy. 8 days coming.
Miss Kelly, you and I have on the wrong colors. You put our colors together, that looks like Auburn.
Oh, this is bad.
It's actually red.
Oh, is it? Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah, it looks orange.
It does look
Real
orange. Man, Cricket Wireless, is that
It's
the
lighting.
quality we're getting today?
I'm at my mother-in-law, so we'll blame it on her lighting, okay?
Okay.
Also,
Gotcha.
but you had to go use her internet. So, okay, got it.
I did.
Well, she started at a Buc-ee's and she couldn't get on, so she had to
No,
move
I
locations.
refuse to go in that place. I refuse to go in that place.
Hey, Kelly, don't you have a connection with Derrick that maybe Derrick's not aware of?
Maybe, possibly. My husband actually walked down under Saban, and I asked him for a story. No, I'm sorry, under Stallings. Thank you. I'm a little excited here, and Marvin's done stolen one of my questions. Justin said I got to ask 4, and so Marvin's stealing my thunder. But I actually have a story because I asked him. I said, "What was the most memorable thing that you had about Derrick in practice?" Because we don't get to see practices, and he wrote it down for me to read. He said, "I never really got the chance to know him. He was a heck of a running back, though. The thing I remember both about him during the last week of spring camp, we were practicing in the barn under a severe thunderstorm with lots of electricity in the air. And he said, we finished up with one epic scrimmage, Derrick and Saran versus our all-world beating defense. That was probably the most exhilarating 30 minutes of my football I've ever witnessed in my life. Derrick ran a sweep towards our sidelines that got cut off. He put a foot in the ground, cut up in the infield to instantly get met by 3 or 4 of our monster guys in an enormous collision. His back looked like it was literally less than 6 inches from the ground, and somehow he managed to spin out of it and turn a 2-yard loss into a 7-yard game. Probably the best play in the entire spring."
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember the defense giving us hell. Excuse my language. Boy, when Coach Stallings say ones on ones, I said, damn it. Then you got to tighten up your chin strap. Them boys they knew we weren't really going to pass the ball that much, because back then we didn't pass the ball. And I'm surprised it was a sweep because they were so fast in pursuit that, we were running counters and stuff. But, yeah, they got the best of me more than I got the best of them. Put it that way.
Well, that led me to the question that I wanted to know about, which was what was one of your most memorable or most fun experiences in practice? Because, we as fans don't get to see practice.
Well, my most memorable thing that I saw was Steve Buskey's a tight end. So we're throwing a go route to the tight end, and Coach Stallings is in the center of the field. So he's going up for the ball. Steve's looking for the ball. Coach Stallings can't get out of the way. So Coach Stallings was a pretty stout guy. So Coach Stallings put that sickle up, boom, and knocked Steve back. And then everybody's like, oh, damn. And then, Steve's like, Coach, he said, hey, it was either me or you. You're not better than I am. And that showed me how tough Coach Stallings was. He had his elbow was bleeding. He didn't even know. He just boom. And so I knew
they don't make them like they used to.
No, they sure don't.
Well, I have one more for you, if Justin will allow.
I'll allow.
Thank you.
Today.
Yes, Tribal Chief. Having won the first SEC championship, how do you feel about the restructuring with no East or West divisions?
Well, we have more teams now. So when we started it, South Carolina, I believe, and Texas A&M had come into the conference. So that's when we started the 2 divisions. But I think it's going to be more competition. Some of the rivalries may go away. I don't know. I don't like that part of it. But you know, you have to evolve. Things are changing. You know, there may, I don't know. There'll always be a SEC, but at some point there may be a couple of super conferences, and you know, so we have to be prepared and ready for that.
Derrick, I want to ask you this. You just brought this up about the realignment in the conferences and rivalries being lost. You know, if they move Alabama and Auburn to the east, they've pretty much preserved every rivalry with the exception of Alabama LSU.
Well, that's a big rivalry.
That's a huge
So
rivalry.
you just have to make that a cross division rivalry, and you have preserved pretty much every other rivalry in the SEC. I went through and I looked at it all one day. I just wrote it all out. I'm looking, I'm like, that would be the only one you would not preserve.
Yeah, you know, it's just gonna be tough to add us and.
But think about it. You still got Georgia, Florida. You still got Auburn and Georgia. You got Alabama, Tennessee. You are preserving pretty much every major rivalry with the exception.
So you would just move Auburn and Alabama and bring Oklahoma and Texas and keep them in the West.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I'm okay with not having to deal with all that voodoo.
All right.
Okay, so this segment's been brought to you by Commissioner Constant Enterprises. Greg Sankey, get out.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of old rivalries in the SEC that people want to preserve. And I know someone just said, you know, you can make new rivalries, but here's the reality of it. When you've been playing these teams for so long and your family members and friends have played for these schools, I like to talk trash to them just as much as I like to talk trash to the regular fans. So when you take that away from us, that's a hard pill to swallow. Because, again, this is what's been in place for so long. So if you're going to tell me Alabama and Arkansas is a new rivalry now because of realignment, I'm going to tell you BS. That's crap. That's not a rivalry.
Yeah.
It's a homecoming game.
Exactly.
That is a pig roast.
Kelly, you know what? Last week you gave us $20 in the chat. I'll give you one more. How about that? Matter of fact, you know, this is Bo's retirement party. So if you want to add a little to that, go ahead.
I actually do have one that Bo and Derrick can both, and maybe Marvin, because, you know, Marvin doesn't have any opinions. Maybe y'all can comment on. You know, today Coach Saban and A.D. Byrne were up in front of Congress giving their opinions on NIL and maybe some structuring for college football. What advice would you guys have to some of our younger players who are now receiving the amounts of money that they would never have seen before, but you have experienced on a more professional level? And as far as like handling that, you know, but so that they don't make some bad decisions.
Honestly, I think nowadays you can give these kids much advice as you want, but as a high school kid, they still gonna go. They still gonna go out and do what they want to do, either way it go. So, but they're just the new game now. That's just how it is, and it ain't no way around it because everybody getting paid. So every kid that come up that's in that spotlight gonna want to be paid just like the guy that was before him. And I think that where it got out of hand, that where guys in high school can get this type of money, opposed to when we were coming out, you know, we was fighting to get there, but now it's like, well, I already got it with next. So that's what it looked like, but it can be very different than what I'm talking about. But from outside looking in, we think that these guys doesn't really know what they do with the money, or they doesn't deserve the money just yet. And it's a pros and cons to it, because when kids get to college, you know, the college use their name, image, and likeness for fans, and it's only right that they get a piece of the pie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to come down on the players now, but you know, this whole country could take some classes in financial literacy. You know, I would tell them to look at getting a whole life insurance policy with a cash value, a IUL, you know, so they can create their own bank and they put money in the bank, and it's earning interest, compounding interest. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So you want to get something and put that money away. Enjoy some of it. Yeah, because there's some of the things, a lot of us that have played Division I football come from, either lower income or middle class, upbringings. So we don't have that. We hadn't had that money. We want to experience and explore things that we weren't able to because we didn't have the financial means. So enjoy some of it. And there needs to be a structure. I think structure it like the NFL, have the quarterbacks make a certain amount of money for IUL, then the left tackles, then the receivers based on position, and then kind of tier it like that. But there has to be a structure. These deals that the kid, what was he making? $10 million from USC? Yeah. That's ridiculous. You lose your desire to play at the next level. That's why he's so nonchalant at the combines and stuff like that. He's got $10 million in the bank. It loses your drive. We were motivated, Bo. You want to be a first round and second rounder, get that signing bonus, help our families. Right. But we should get some of the money based on our name, image, and likeness. But it needs to be tiered.
Yeah.
Well, back when we all played, we didn't have NIL.
When they had three channels,
we had, which was basically, you better not tell nobody what you're getting and who you got it from. So back then, we didn't have to pay taxes. They have to pay taxes on this money. So I think that they do need to take a three-pronged approach to this. Give them one third being banked for taxes, and then another third going into some type of annuity account or something where they can get this money later in life. But I think giving it all to them now definitely is going to prove to be problematic, because you give a kid $100,000 now, he's going to spend $100,000, and then he's going to turn around and owe the government around $40,000, and that's going to be a problem for him, because now he's trying to figure out where I get this other $40,000 from. So now he's taking another NIL to pay this tax person. So basically, you're going to screw a lot of these kids because they're not prepared for that. So
what are taxes on a Lamborghini again?
About basically one third of the value of the car. So I think that they're not looking into the problem that they've created. And I don't think they're going to truly see the full effects of NIL for another 4 or 5 years once they start to see these kids in tax trouble. Once these kids start to get in tax trouble, I think then you'll see these universities step up to the plate and say, we need to do something, because their players are getting locked up for tax evasion.
Ooh, nobody's talking about that, are they?
Lawyer Constance.
All right. Before we close up shop, I had somebody text me a question for you, Derrick. He was actually our top fan this past week, Sports Talking with JB. JB's the man. Follow all his content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. He wants to know, where would you rank your 1992 national championship team as far as all time in college football history?
There's been some great teams. Our deficiencies offensively wouldn't rank us. I wouldn't rank us that high, because we had a lot of deficiencies on our offense. Our defense was probably top 3.
Hold on, Derrick, what did you just say? Did you say Antonio Langham was the weak link on defense?
Oh, no, definitely not that. No. Hey, I'm going to tell you.
He had the cleanest uniform?
I always get on T.O., but T.O. was a baller, man. From day one, he came in as a freshman balling. He was having a rough day against Florida, and he made that one play, and it made up for it. So, I always tease him about that. But, yeah, so as far as us ranking the 1992, the defense would be in the top 3. But because of our offense, I'd put us in maybe the top 12, 15 of all time football, being ranked.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, we got a question for the entire panel. Kaylee, I'll let you answer as well. Don Parker, should they have to pay back all NIL money prior to transferring? Steven, start us off, then go to Derrick, Bo, Marvin, and Kaylee finish it up.
I think that you should, though, because if you're not going to play for that program, why are they allowing you to hang on to the NIL funds if you're not going to play for them? Because there have been situations where a kid will commit to a school and the collective shoves you out, $1 to $2, $3 million of NIL. And when the kid goes, okay, I got the NIL, I'm going to hop in the transfer portal, haven't played it down, and go elsewhere. Like, that's happened. And you just took the money and ran. So that should be paid back.
Okay, I like that. Derrick?
Well, I disagree. You sign in at NIL, it's for a year. If you stay on the team for a year, you've earned that money, whether you play it or not. So it's like a contract. You know, you got some of these quarterbacks in the NFL who get first round money and they don't play the whole year, but they don't hand the money back. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if you played or not. It's a contract for a year. Honor the contract. Let the kids go where they want to go, and you know, do it again. Maybe the next time, but maybe the next time, but people be more hesitant to give the kid the money until he performs on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like someone like Caleb Downs, he earned his money. You know what I'm saying? So now he's going to Ohio State. He was a free agent. They paid him the money, and he'll probably earn it once he steps on the field.
Yeah, I agree with Derrick. That sound about right. They earn the money. They 1 year, and then you know, after that is
Wild West.
Yeah, free agency again.
That's
basically what it is. That's basically what it is. I mean, because like Coach Saban said today, he was surprised at how the guys were acting after the Michigan loss. You know, these guys probably saying, "Hey, we got our money and we finna go get this money over here." Like they probably weren't even thinking about it, the loss after that. You know, you don't know.
Well, Bo, here's the sad reality of it all. NIL is not going anywhere, but you got to realize something. There's an alignment problem here because scholarships are 1 year renewable. So how are you going to say I have a 1 year renewable scholarship, but I got to commit to NIL for 4 years? There has to be alignment. And just like coaches come in and they do 1 year their contract and they get gone, you can't say it's good for the goose, but not the gander. They got to work on alignment.
Yeah.
Agreeable.
Hey, I have to cut out. Thanks for having me. And
yes, sir, Derrick. Appreciate you, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure. Don't stay gone too long again, man.
Hey,
before you go, tell folks how they can find you on social media, then bounce.
No, I don't have really too much social media.
Smoke signals. Gotcha.
You can find me on the Bama Standard.
Hey,
that's
Derrick,
right. That's right.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Derrick, get you one of those elastic bands and tie it off, man, and just start working on those shoulder rotations, man. That's the one thing that helped me out the most with building my strength back up.
Oh, yeah, we do that in physical therapy.
Okay.
It be wearing me out too, boy. All right.
All right, brother.
Thank you, Derrick.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Marvin, if you're not going to go into coaching, at least go into financial literacy for these players. At least do that.
Well, I mean, but you got, a lot of these kids, they don't want to listen to us, man. They don't want to hear what we got to say, man. But that's the sad truth of it. Scholarships are 1 year renewable. So how are you going to say this kid has to commit based on an NIL deal, but his scholarship is a 1 year renewable? So this kid might commit to this 4 years, but if the coach decides I want to bring somebody else in, then he's still not there.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn. You're the final word. And then we get to close down.
Honestly, I think we've opened a Pandora's box, which we all know. And I think there does need to be some structure. But I think it's up to, I think that those who are giving the money, if they are not providing that structure for what they have given, then they really can't fault the players for taking the money and not giving it back. Because there was no structure in place. There was no deal in place. Now, if the deal has been fulfilled, then obviously they get to keep all their money, and I agree. What's good for the coaches can also be good for the players as well.
And that's why I said there's an alignment problem because, again, even if you sign this NIL deal for 3 or 4 years, but the coach has you on this 1 year renewable scholarship that he decides he no longer wants you to have, you're still screwed.
Exactly.
Wow.
Who got that Nokia? That's you, Steve. That old Nokia.
It is. Did you see that launch?
Hey, man. Hey,
got a high score on Snake.
That ain't no Nokia.
He got an old black and white Nokia over there.
This is a red iPhone, bro. Red iPhone.
He got a green screen on his phone.
I thought he was about to flip his phone out. literally flip phone.
Now, that would be my pops coming out of me if I did that.
He
Like,
got a
I
BlackBerry.
got this old Motorola. Here we go.
Man, listen, we've actually run out of time, but it's been a great show. I want to thank everybody who's been in the chat for doing their thing tonight. Thank you for Don Parker for that $5. And thank you for Kelly Wesby for gracing us with her presence and being one of our top fans every week. Before we head out, I'm going to let everybody get their last word in, promote what they got and how they can find you on social media. Kelly, I know you're active on Twitter. I'll get you look. Can't talk. I'll let you go last. Marvin, we'll start with you as we always do. Talk about what you got, how they can find you. Then we'll go to Stephen, Bo, and Kelly. Close us out.
Oh, you can find me on Instagram, Constant45, Twitter, Constant451. There's direct links on both of my pages to purchase my book via Amazon. Best $15 you ever spend. 3 different workout programs, one for beginner, one for intermediate, one for people who've been doing it for a while. Each program is 6 weeks. And again, if you're looking to get that back, best $15 you ever spend. Y'all see the cuts.
For somebody who needs so many surgeons, wow.
I'll make sure I give you my doctor's number so he can go ahead and start getting you lined up for your future procedures.
Hey, I gave you that number.
All right. Well,
what in the Lou Ferrigno was going on?
I don't know. But aside from Marvin showing what the book does here, we got in my own words tomorrow on Wednesday, talking Bama football. The guys come off of spring practice next week. They're on spring practice right now. They come back from spring practice next week, so it's going to be good to get back into.
You mean they're on spring break?
They're on
spring break. Yeah, they're on spring break this week.
Not spring practice.
My bad. They're on spring break this week. They come back to spring practice next week.
Did you get back into that Ciroc again, Stephen?
No, I did not. So when I return to the field for spring practice, it's going to be fun to get all of these positional battles. There's a lot of them going on. A lot of the coaches are letting the media in on some things, which is awesome. Of course, the A-Day game, ESPN will have that this year. No more streaming stuff. ESPN's got that. Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler will be on the call. That's going to be a good A-Day game on the 13th of April. Golly, Matthew, man. But in my own words, check it out. Spring practice next week.
Hey, Matthew, listen, man. You got me. Matthew, I give you that one. I give you that one. Like I'm going to be at AutoZone or something. In line to return a carburetor or something. Come on, man. My alternator went out. Really, Matthew? I want you to remember that one. You got me, though.
Bo?
Man. We still working on the website and everything. Almost done. You can find me on Bo Scarbrough on all social media. And just gonna enjoy this time with my family.
Awesome.
I'll
Kelly.
get an extended warranty line soon.
Kelly, thank you for being our top fan and joining in our nonsense. You fit right in, actually, so you might want to come back often. But tell folks what you got going on and how they can find you on Twitter. You're quite active in causing trouble there. So how do they find you?
Now. I'm pretty active on Twitter at Southern Lady First. And launched recently. I'm going to shameless plug this because occasionally some of our viewers here tune into Teague's Take. And so you might have seen the Beaches LLC commercials. That's the new business we launched this summer. So please, if you've been wondering who's the face behind that, that'd be me.
Hold on. Did you say Beaches?
I did.
Uh-oh, you got his attention.
I did.
What's going on with this business?
We actually install beach entry swimming pools. They are not.
Man, I thought you had beach houses for rent or something for sale. I was like, I'm coming, Kelly.
No, you ain't. And even if I did, no, you ain't.
Kelly don't know I'm always gone.
But you can go to yourbackyardbeach.com. Check out Beaches LLC, please. Let us know what you think. If you're interested, we're happy to take care of you. And other than that, just trying to keep up with you boys on Twitter.
Y'all do swimming pools as well, Kelly?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Y'all do work in the Atlanta area? Because I'm probably going to get another house next year, and I need a pool.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
8 days coming. 8 days coming.
It is coming. Remind everybody, be there on the 12th, the night before, at the Paul W. Bryant Museum to be a part of all this. Kelly, you'll be there, right?
Oh, with bells on. I got new shoes and everything.
Oh, that's what
We are rolling.
That's what's up. But hey, I want to remind everybody, it's not just the Bama Standard. We got a network of shows after this at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. The final whistle will be on Matt Cadell, Chris James, Dan James, Lushan, Ty Hayes, and Daniel Petty. This is quite a crew there. If you think this crew is something, you got to check those guys out. Then tomorrow night, C.C. Payne on the Crimson Dynasty. George Teague is off this week. He's every other week, but you can always find Teague's take on Wednesday nights at 8:15 p.m. Central, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We have quite an off-season plan for everyone. Stay tuned. Roll Tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.